Let's test this out. Okay, come on, man. Yes. Ooh, yay. Weird. Focus, fire gun, will you need somebody to lean on? Yo, hello. Okay, exciting. Hey, what's up, guys? Let's do this. A little bit of this. A little bit of this. How are you guys tonight? You having a good night? What? I was just literally gone for a minute and I just got not eligible for. Okay, I'm just gonna restart my live. I'm gonna restart it. I don't know. I got weird. Okay. Try this. This. Okay, guys. Back. Let's see. Hope you guys have a good night. 1 second. Okay. Perfect. So, my wife recommended something. She recommended, where's the browser source? Link, here it is. Add 0 proof of evolution. Okay, bud. You're right, for sure. That makes a lot of sense. Wow. Boom, 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 boom. This. Jaboom. That. Center. Horizontally. Guys, let's see some emojis or something in chat. Let's see it. I need to see if it's working. Let's see if it's going. Let's see it. I need some emojis or something that I can see in chat. Let's see. Let's see here. Test. There they are. Oh, that's good. Woo! Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, I like that. Oh, no. Here, lock this, take this, go here. Smaller. Here. This, I like this here. Hey, thank you for the heart, me. All right, I think we're good. All right, guys. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, that's right. All right. Ow. All right, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? Allow me to reintroduce myself. Boom. What's up? Oh, that's right. That is right. Ladies and gentlemen. You're now tuned. You are now tuned to the greatest. Woo! Bum 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 bum. You're now tuned to the greatest of all time. All right. What's up? Let's see. Side cam. Boom. What's up? Boom. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, you're far too kind. Thank you guys for being here. Getting all snazzied up, guys. This is it. What's up, Rebecca? How are you? Hope your night's going well. Man. Okay. Here it is. What's up, Bachel? How's it going? What's good, Jules? Good. Very good. Thank you for asking. Oh, man. What a day, guys. What a day. Day went really well. Had a really awesome dad day. You know, that was like a really cool thing. Just to be able to love doing the, oh, I'm sorry about your bad week. Greetings, Giovanni. How are you? yeah, it was a good dad day. Like talking, being with my kiddos. That was really fun. Oh, weird. I need TikTok chat. Here. This. Stop recording. Start one more time. Sign in. Hey, Helen. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. And I should have TikTok now. Come on, man. This I like this Stream Ninja, social Stream Ninja is like this thing that I use for my multi-chat, and it just does not work sometimes. It's so frustrating. It is so frustrating. Twitch is so good. Twitch is like every time, no problem. But for some reason, the other sites are just like not doing it. There we go. There's the TikTokers. How's it going, everyone? Thank you for following. 1998 Windows monitor, beautiful. What a great time. What a great time to be alive. 1998. That was a crazy. Ken Starr coming out. That was crazy. All right. Oh man, I thought this was a standard edition undergrad Greg before he put on his coat, and I knew it'd only be then. The great Dr. Greg. There you go. Thank you, guys. All right, guys. But yeah, the idea, had a good day, dad day, had a debate earlier with someone that was basically claiming to be a doctor in this space, but at the PhD in immunology, but didn't have any of the knowledge or understanding in order to make those claims. And I think it's like, guys, I just want to be clear, like what this is. Okay. This show. Okay. I'm an actual scientist. Okay. So what that means is that not only is anti-science beliefs like wrong for us as a country, as a human species, but it literally personally attacks me, right? Because I am a scientist. The point of this space is for me to answer questions about scientific questions that people have. And I will be here for hours explaining to people scientific concepts. If people have questions, I will talk to you. That's not what this is. The thing is to hold people accountable that are doing harm in our society. And a lot of those people have PhDs and MDs after their names. So what happens is that people will grift and they will lie and they will find ways in order to exploit people, exploit the ways that they have been personally impacted by the pandemic, or they will find a way to exploit trauma that they've had in their lives. And the whole point of this show is to hold those people accountable here. MDs, PhDs, anyone that's above that threshold, that is creating the disinformation. Okay. Anyone that is perpetrating these lies and creating these lies, there is no quarter for you here. There is no quarter. I will not be nice to you because you are helping hurt society and you're trying to hurt people. So yeah, absolutely. I will defend and push and just like the UFC, says, defend yourself at all times. And this conversation and for your beliefs, I will absolutely be going on the attack. Absolutely. You will not be coddled. in this space. But if you have a question, though, if you're genuinely curious about how something works, then request up and have that conversation with me. That is completely fine, and I welcome those, and I love that. Even chat gets mad at me. I'm like too patient with people. I am like too patient with people that are asking questions. But if someone has a PhD next to their name and then goes on to say that now they have this prestige and therefore they should be able to say that insane things like water has a memory or something like that, there is no quarter for you in this space. Like, I will be relentlessly pursuing and attacking your ideas. Like, there is no chill. Like, this isn't a dating stream, guys. I'm not here to make friends with you if you are perpetrating and creating disinformation. I'm not here to make friends with RFK. This whole goal isn't for me to like gain like social media clout. So now I'm an influencer and now I can hang out with RFK. Like maybe that's what a lot of these people want to do, because they want to get into this naturalistic whole medicine, holistic nonsense grift. But that's not me. Okay, that's not what this is, and that's not what this space is. So I will be relentlessly pursuing and attacking these ideas that harm our society. And as a scientist, I have the credentials and the expertise to trounce people that perpetrate these ideas. And that's what this space is differently, right? That's why this is the best live show in the world. I genuinely do believe that. I genuinely do believe that there is nobody else in the world that is really like just tirelessly attacking these ideas that are harming our society and bringing us back to the 1700s. There's just nobody. There is nobody that's doing it like I'm doing, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. Okay. But I absolutely will not be cry bullied. And this happens so much. This happens so much in our society right now, where we have people that do harm to others. And then when people hold them accountable now for their ideas and hold their ideas accountable to how much they are harming to society, now we have this, oh, I'm a victim. I'm a victim now. That's not fair. You can't hold me accountable for my ideas. Everyone is entitled to an opinion. And it's this fake civility, right? Because what they're trying to do is that they're trying to say and create the illusion that their ideas are civil. Guys, if you are anti-vaccine and you are pushing things that harm people, you are not being civil. Your ideas aren't civil. You're actually harming people, and people are going to lose their life because of that. You don't get to claim this aura of like, I'm just trying to be civil and ask questions, while you are actively trying to, create a scenario where people lose their life. That just doesn't, that's not what happens here. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to allow people with MDs and PhDs just to have that space to say that. They have to be held accountable, and I will hold them accountable for the first time probably ever since they started grifting online. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. That's what we're doing. That's what we do here. So if you like some people that are actually going to be held accountable, if you actually like scientific rigor, if you actually like intellectualism, if you actually like making progress in society and trying to solve societal problems, you can be here. That is totally fine. I have no problems with you. There's like Republicans, Democrats, anarchists, communists, all different types of people here. Probably not a lot of monarchists, because we actually dog on monarchists a lot. Monarchs are kind of cringe, but dictatorships. Let's be real. But the point is you know where you stand with me. I will be honest with you, and I will be forthcoming with my opinion about you, and people respect that. The biggest thing that I wish people on the left realized with people on the right is that they like it. The people on the right like it when people on the left are more forward with them and stand up for what they believe in. Because if you actually believed that someone is doing harm in society, what would you do? What would you do in the face of that? You would fight. You would fight. You would fight that. And that's what I am doing. So people respect that. So some of the biggest contributors, some of the biggest fans of my show are Republicans. They are. And it's fine. And I like that. I like that we have people in the chat. I do not police for wrong think. My comments are pretty much unmoderated. And I like it that way. I like people that can have that discussion and we can talk about that. Absolutely. But like for people that have MDs and PhDs and stuff like that, welcome to the peer review. Welcome to the peer review, ladies and gentlemen. And however you think I am being relentless to these people, however dogmatic you think that I'm being, I am telling you that in actual scientific discourse, we are even more ruthless to one another. And therefore, we should actually take even like more with a grain of salt, like that, wow, a scientific theory in order to get to that point is pretty relentlessly attacked and sought after all the different holes in the argument in order to come to that conclusion. So I just want you guys to think, okay, that's what's actually happening here. Okay. I love I love the conversations with people that that are asking questions and stuff like that. But if people come up to with an MD or PhD, you are about and you're creating disinformation yourself, it's not going to be good, guys. It's not going to be good for you. So, and that's how it's going to be for here. That's how it was in the stream earlier today when I went on that panel and I absolutely dog walked that immunologist that's trying to claim that she has a PhD and somehow she knows more about water memory than anyone else. And I absolutely trounced her, and how it was 7v1 in the panel, 7v1, guys. And I was just dog walking every single one of them. And I will continue to do that every single time and every single panel that I am in. There is no truce. There is no quarter for people that are trying to tear down society and are trying to attack the fundamental freedoms that we have in our world. I have no quarter for you. And that's not what this is for. I'm not trying to date you or become your friend if you are trying to tear down society. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I'm married with kids. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know what the hell you guys think that this is about. I'm not trying. This isn't a friendly thing. I genuinely think that these people are doing harm to our world and our viewpoints and our intellectualism, and we are on a path now that is fundamentally going to hurt us down the road. And I'm going to do everything in my path to attack these ideas with every single cell in my body, in my show, in my communication. I will absolutely relentlessly go after these grifters, these liars, these snake oil salesmen. I will absolutely go after them, because this is what it is. Science needs to go on the attack. That's what needs to happen. Science, for the first time, needs to actually go on the counter attack. We've been back on our heels for too long. Science, communicators and physicians, public health officials, we have been on the backs, on our heels for too long. And this stream and this space is about science actually going on the counterattack for the first time. And that's what happens here. And you see that every single night when we go and we go on these debate panels. I have these people on. Science needs to go on the counterattack. And that's what I will always do, and I will continue to do every single time. So thank you guys. That's what this is about. That's what this stream is about. That's what this space is about. If you invite me, I appreciate all the invites to go onto your panels and to go on your spaces. I love the conversations. I want to go on more right-wing podcasts in order to talk about this stuff, the anti-science problem that we see in America and the world. I love those invites. I appreciate them. But don't think that just because you invite me on them, I am going to play nice. I do not play nice. I do not play nice with people that are creating disinformation. With people that are misinformed, I will absolutely talk to you and I will explain mechanisms of science and we can have discussions for hours. But I will never hold back against the purveyors of disinformation that are actually lying to people and grifting. Never. I will never do that. Okay. All right. Sorry. Well, I just had to say that. Okay. Tito Suave. Tito Suave. What's up, dude?
What's up? I pretty much just wanted to ask if you have any idea what's going on with like all these scientists who are being unalived. I don't know if you've already spoken on this yet.
Dude, okay, so I think that this is like a story that is basically only reported on in right-wing spaces right now, like Fox News and all these things. So I haven't seen like credible reporting in order to really have like a solidified opinion about it. Like obviously as a scientist, like things that are, people are attacking us, and they have been attacking us since the pandemic. So it does feel like very fake and very disingenuous for Republicans to all of a sudden care about the safety of scientists when like they've literally personally and attacked scientists for the last 6 years. Personally, I've had people tried to kick me out of grad school. They came and harassed our lab. These people are not like, I just care about science. Like I don't think that that's true. I think that they actually, it's an ideological thing that they're trying to push. They're trying to say that this is like a grand conspiracy and that people are trying to whistle blow, and now they're trying to be shut down. So I think it's like a conspiracy and mixed in with some political stuff. I don't think that these Republicans like have the best like actual care in their heart for the safety of science.
And what do you think?
Your mic came out.
What do you think about UAPs?
Unidentified.
What are they? The new name for the UFOs? Like.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think that like I think that there's a really good chance that there's life outside of Earth, and I think that that's probably like more than 99% true. I don't think that they're probably here. I think that they're like, if they were here, I think that there'd be a lot more evidence about it. So I think that I think that there's like a disconnect there between like life existing outside of Earth and them being in like UFOs, unidentified, flying objects or whatever you want to call them.
I think it's unidentified aerial phenomena is what UAP stands for.
Yeah.
Apparently these scientists who have been unalived have been connected to like some of the UAP like research going on at like Area 51 and like places like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that'd be awful. That would be awful, and I obviously I wouldn't agree with it being a thing. Like I think that it would be really sad if that was happening. That obviously for like science it really requires like small L liberalism, where you have like freedom of speech, freedom of expression to actually say what's happening, and the idea of like tampering down on certain subjects or anything like that is a threat to science as a whole. So I definitely do agree that like if there was any type of like silencing, I think that would be awful, and we should definitely we should research it, we should look into it, but I just don't think, it just seems very fake and disingenuous right now.
All right. Well, that's all I was going to ask about that. Okay. So I'll just drop down.
Okay. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for being here. Thank you. So please disagree if you disagree, or if you're you want to talk about anything, let me know. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for hanging out. And here we go. So, yeah. How's everything else doing? Let's see here. Science is fake, in my opinion. Oh. Okay, nice. There you go. Unidentified aerial phenomena. That's it. Thank you, Bockel. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, man, where I don't know. I'm very anti-conspiratorial, like genuinely. I try to find, I try not to be conspiratorial on purpose. So, if there's something going on, then I just need more evidence. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see. I love evidence, and something that's a little bit more than just a couple of, just a couple of news reports, so yeah. You Google over caring for cancer. Yeah. WYN. Anyone that's being touted and given herbalism that has a cancer diagnosis, that I think that's incredibly sad, because people are being taken advantage of, and like there aren't anti-cancer, like cancer is a specific thing in the body. And like having some type of remedy or herbalism that kind of like makes the body better. Like think about it. Like how are these specific cells being targeted inside the body? Like it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. What we do have, however, if you're interested in like actual science, you have, the new pancreatic cancer vaccines that just came out that are specifically targeting pancreatic cancer as a gene therapy. Basically, they are creating vaccines inside of your body that allow your immune system to attack cancer cells for the first time. So it's just like how your immune system attacks foreign viral particles. Imagine if your immune system could attack just specifically the cancer cells. So that's one way of like, think about it. They're specifically targeting those cancer cells. So therefore that's a good idea, right? It's bad in general to target the entire body. It just doesn't, it's not usually a good way. That broad kind of generalization is kind of like what chemotherapy does, where it's good to knock down some of the cancers, but you're not going to have that targeted approach, which I think is really the goal of like modern medicine, is using genetics, using molecular biology through CRISPR. It's called adeno-associated viruses as well, that they can like go in and molecularly with their exact sequence that they've sequenced your genome. They know what your cancer cells are. They know the sequence of those cells, and they can specifically target those. That's the idea. So that's what I think we should do. Yeah, I mean, the herbal remedy isn't going to be able to like attack your body. I mean, in theory, they could make your body better at dealing with things, like, in the best case scenario, makes your body have more energy or health in order to withstand like another medication like chemotherapy or something like that. But your body isn't going to naturally be able to cure the cancer. It's just that the whole point is that the genome, the genes inside of those cells have been warped and changed so that they're malicious, right? Those cells are now maliciously going through and actually taking in resources that they don't need to have, and that's actually taking energy from your body. So that's the point. I mean, if you want like actual like anti-cancer remedies, there's gene therapies that are being done by David R. Liu. There's the pancreatic cancer stuff that I just talked about. There's other stuff like the mRNA vaccines, like the COVID vaccine, actually somehow creates a way for your body to better fight your cancer cells by revving up the immune system and allowing that immune system to attack the cancer cells better. So that's one way that people are living longer with cancer, is having an immune system that's kind of turned on. So yeah, there's a lot of cool treatments that are actually happening with actual like science and actual medicine. So that's what you should focus on. I think people get really like tuned into these kind of like fads because it feels like they can do something, that they have some agency, right? You like as a normal person, you don't have the agency of like what is CRISPR, what is gene therapies, what are what is sequencing? You don't know what that is, but with a detox cleanse, like, oh, now all of a sudden it's something that you can do, right? You don't have to go to the chemotherapy center. You don't have to do this thing. You have you have the power back. And that's why like these herbal remedies harm people because it's giving them a false sense of security and power in the scenario, when in reality they should be, and looking for new ways that we can use molecular biology to take advantage of those cells. That's what I think is the biggest thing. In general, I do think that, there should be more research funding into these medications, these type of treatments. This is, by the way, the $500 million that was taken from us by RFK for these mRNA, vaccines that specifically are these anti-cancer vaccines, which by the way, RFK talked about in his Senate hearing this week. He actually talked about the awesome things that are happening with these anti-cancer COVID, mRNA lipid nanoparticle delivery chassis that he himself defunded. So he sits there and says the awesome things that are happening in science but at the same time, the dude is defunding the same science that he is touting. It's insanity, guys. It's so sad, the state that we have, and how much money is actually going into cancer research. What a small percentage of our budget is going into things like cancer research, while we're spending $1 billion a day into the wars in the Middle East, and it's insane. We $500 million went to these mRNA cancer COVID vaccines, and they still got the funding cut. So it's insane. Sorry, they cut his research and he did research prior that did that. When is Trump a defunded maths? Because I guess that's for he's okay. You got Senator Cassie, yeah, Hollywood. I saw that. What's interesting is that he was the Senate Health Committee chair who was the deciding vote into allowing RFK to become the HHS secretary, and he did that and had that vote and voted that way specifically because RFK promised that he wouldn't remove access to vaccines, and then obviously RFK went back on that promise, and he's a little mad about that. He's really frustrated about that. He's a physician. He's a hepatic cancer. I think that he's a liver physician specifically. So, which is ironic because he actually is, because of RFK, we're actually going to be seeing a rise in liver cancers because the vaccines, one of the things that they do is they'll protect against liver cancer. So it's a clown show, man. It's a clown show. I did see that Pete Hegseth is no longer mandating the flu shots in the army. I know it doesn't make any sense to me because you get a lot of really experimental, odd vaccines when you go into the military. That's kind of the whole point, right? And the idea that the flu vaccine is going to be the one, it doesn't make any sense. Because of what? Informed consent? Because of people in the military have to have consent in order to do what? Bro, you're literally your life is in the hands of Pete Hegseth to be thrown into battle. You don't have any informed consent on your own body, your body autonomy. So it's just crazy. Hey, Robin, how are you? So it's, it is wild. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, yeah. Did you hear that Trump was trying to get launch codes to literally nuke a country? I did. Yes, Dream. I did hear that. I'm not surprised. He tried to do that before. He got this idea somehow that we are creating hurricanes, so that his idea was to actually try to attack the hurricanes. I don't know. The insanity just doesn't stop, Exactly. No, exactly, Dream. It was recent, and it just came out that he did it again. What I'm saying is that I am not surprised that he would do that, considering that he was looking at that in his first administration, in his first term. So I'm not surprised that he would look at that again. You know what I mean? So yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me. When I was a kid, they lined us up at the school and shot us with smallpox vaccine, left a scar. Yeah, Hollywood. Yeah, the smallpox was a huge one. That was smallpox. What was it? 300 million people lost their life because of smallpox in the 1900s. So, I mean, this was a huge, huge public health benefit that the vaccine gave us. And we, people don't. They don't understand that. They don't live with smallpox, so they're not living in fear of smallpox, so therefore they don't see it as a problem. And vaccines are so effective that they have eliminated viruses as being a part of our daily existence. But throughout history, it's been the opposite, right? Throughout the existence of the history of mankind, we've had more and more diseases that just took a higher and higher percentage of people out. And vaccines were the first to really antibiotics were the first in order to help mortality rates actually go down. George Washington forced soldiers at Valley Forge to be inoculated against smallpox. Exactly, Robin. Yes, I'm actually a huge fan of this story, exactly, because a lot of people think for some reason that being for public health is against American interests, like freedom and liberty. And it's the exact opposite. George Washington literally had the first public health works campaign, and George Washington himself. And one of the reasons that we survived the Revolutionary War, some say maybe one of the reasons that we won is because of that vaccination, the inoculation effort. So it's really, really, really cool, I think. Debate Doc, how's it going, man? But vaccine status, all the unvaccinated can go play by themselves. Debate Doc, this is something that I've honestly been really frustrated at, the idea that my wife going into a hospital setting can be exposed to measles. We go to, I had to go to the clinic for, I had pneumonia. So I go in there and you have all these people that had, they have big posters now that's like, hey, do you have measles? And I'm like, what? That's so wild, man. That's so wild that we have people that are just going into these places with these communicable diseases. I think it's honestly I really wonder if nurses, at what point do nurses unions get involved? Because if there was a 3% chance of you inheriting a disease that's going to scar your immune system and give you a chance of having, a brain condition 10 to 20 years down the line, the union would say, well, don't expose that person to that thing, right? But for some reason, it's okay to expose a public health worker or a nurse or a physician, whoever's in a technician to that same measles. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's not okay. And chickenpox looking to take over the vaccinated school thinking, what if? Yeah, dude, there's so many. Yeah, Donnie, the hospitals do mandate vaccines, but the measles vaccines, about 97% effective, and there's 3% breakthrough cases. So, why should our family be exposed to this stuff? At some point, Donnie, these people need to trust in their own education to provide healthcare to people. Seriously, go pay $200 for a vitamin A shot or something. You know what I mean? Don't come to the hospital if you think that it's going to harm you. Go to your crystal mama. Go get some amethyst and some rosemary tincture and go try to cure your disease like that. Why should it be on us? Why should it be on society in order to bear this burden for these people? They will remove the rabies treatment? Really, Rebecca? How can they remove it? I know anti-vax nursing home nurses. That is wild. That is wild, Michelle. That is crazy dangerous. Should I get vaccinated for measles again if I did as a child? Robin, it's actually, I would say, so there have been papers that say that the antibody wanes around like 15 to 20 years. So I do think that, if you're 30 or older and you're in a state that has one of these outbreaks, so that doesn't have the key, guys, is like the herd immunity. If you live in a state that does not have herd immunity, that means that you have active community spread. So that means that you have basically measles jumping from one person to another that people can't trace back to a single point of origin. And if you are living in one of those states, personally, what I would do is I would absolutely get a blood titer. Absolutely. So you basically get your blood tested to see if you have those antibodies in your blood. And if you don't, then I would get revaccinated. I think that it's a good idea. Talk to your physician if you live in one of those, Republican states. So I would definitely check it out. Yeah. Nurse for 30 years and we are exposed to everything. Yeah, Donnie, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. I think like as a nurse, you accept some type of risk, right? But I don't think like undue harm should be pushed onto you. Like I don't think we cared enough and we didn't highlight enough the ways that healthcare workers were selfless and really were. I personally describe it like a soldier deployment. People in the healthcare field were deployed to their hospital for a month at a time, where they were living in quarantine, not able to see their their family, doing everything that they can in order to save people from COVID-19 without the vaccine, especially when it was really bad before the vaccine. So, I had physician friends that didn't have the proper PPE. They were washing masks. They were, doing whatever they could in order to really help, and incredible selfless sacrifices. I feel like we never really gave them the credit that they deserve, in my opinion. And that during the pandemic, right? That was them selflessly putting themselves out there, but that was a pandemic. Like, the difference between SARS-CoV-2 and the measles right now is the measles is self-inflicted. The self-inflicted wound by the measles cases, it's not okay. It's not okay to expose to people. Excuse me. It's not okay to expose people to measles when it's completely preventable. It just doesn't make any sense. You're in Kentucky. Well, Robin, you can just check for the CDC. Check to see if you still have herd immunity. You can check the CDC website. The stories of explaining that the vaccine doesn't work like that to dying C-19 patients. Yeah. Hey, DN, thank you. You know it.
The world famous Dr. Greg Show.
Yes. 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 The world famous, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. There's a lot of stories about that. People that were literally being wheeled into, a respirator. They were just about to have a respirator put on, and their last words were, "Is it too late for the COVID vaccine?" Yeah, it's really sad. It's really sad. I've heard that the jails are checking for measles like they do for MRSA. Yeah, and it's measles is so measles is the most contagious thing that we know of. So it's extremely dangerous. You really can't, and there's hundreds of thousands of cases in the 1900s and the early 1900s before we had vaccines against that. So it's really wild, man. It is absolutely wild how effective the vaccines were. They first had the first one in like 1940s. I want to say like 43, 47, and then the 2-dose came in response to the 1989 outbreak, and because Reagan basically defunded a bunch of these vaccine programs, measles starts rising up to 10,000 cases. They create a 2-dose regimen for measles, and that's what it is. People think that vaccine preventable diseases are a joke because they've never seen them before. Exactly, Debate Doc. Exactly. You know what's crazy, man? And I'm really trying to synthesize something here. There's a reason those are the diseases we've developed vaccines against. Yes. Yeah, they're exactly. There's a reason why, like, the power of research and development went into trying to stop those ones specifically. Yeah. Smallpox was one of the biggest ways that people lost their lives, like in the 1900s. I mean, hundreds of millions of people lost their lives to smallpox before the vaccine. I'm really trying to it's really interesting. I'm trying to synthesize something that I see. I'm trying to see, because one of the biggest questions that people have towards me is these peptides, right? Everyone talks about these peptides, and we talk about how the scientific community is like, oh, don't take them, they're experimental. And those same people, a lot of them are looking at the COVID vaccine, and they say that, oh, well, the COVID vaccine was experimental too. It's brand new. You know, the COVID vaccine is brand new, just like these peptides are. And I think that in their mind, in the layman's mind, when they are trying to decide and trying to kind of like parse through this language and how they kind of understand the world, I really think that people put the same level of scientific rigor on both of them. And I think that that's so dangerous. I really do. I think it's really dangerous that people call these mRNA vaccines or any vaccine, really experimental. They've been tested. They've been rigorously tested. Dozens of countries, numerous trials per country. All that stuff. You really can't call it experimental. Meanwhile, these peptides that people get are literally coming from gray market sites, not tested at all. And a lot of times they actually haven't even been proven to work in humans. So it's wild. NB, thank you. Let me see real quick. Let me see. Got to pull up the phase 3 trial of the vaccines and look for something comparable with peptides. Yeah, Debate Doc. I'm trying to synthesize this as an idea. You know, I really do feel like people are being lied to. Very much. A ton here. And it's like really dangerous how this is being framed. And I'm trying to like understand how to communicate these things and just how different they are. How it's really they're in comparison, they're really not experimental at all. It really isn't. They're just not. Vaccines are tested rigorously, tons of different, research. I've thought about that. Yeah, like an infographic or something. I think infographic is probably the biggest way that people can give and enumerate information nowadays. I think like there's a lot of different mediums. Obviously, like video is what you guys are watching right now. I think audio is good. Podcasts are on their way out. I think that everything is kind of a video podcast now. But I do think that like infographics are a really interesting way of portraying information and giving people the information, because it's easily shareable, right? Everyone can just share it on their phone, and then you just give it to someone and they just say, okay, perfect. Now I know this. I have this saved. Now I have this information. So I think that infographics are a way to do that. Like, I think that it is. So yeah, let's see here. Yeah, MB, I think that you might be right. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm. Infographics are great, I think, Helen. I agree. All right, let's see. Has this been lagging on YT? I don't know. I cropped the other side, so I think it looks a little bit better. It looks a little bit better. Hi, Juliana. I'm a visual person. Yeah, I agree, Helen. Yeah, me too. I'm good here, no lag. Okay, nice. Okay, thanks, MB. Yeah, thank you. Oh, there's a glitch right there. I wonder why. I don't know what's going on specifically to cause this problem. The only thing I could think of would be this. Chrome is so laggy sometimes. So what I'll do is I will throw it over to Firefox. Let's see. It is on YouTube as well. Okay, Ambi, thank you for checking. Thank you. Do you think that hospitals should prioritize vax patients over unvax? Dream, I think that this is a really interesting question, genuinely. I think like, oh, okay, that's what it is. It's, that's what it is. I know what it is. Okay, so it's so glitchy here. Yeah. It's the model. Okay. Now we're lagging. Yeah, it's this one. It's this. It's this background on the model. Basically, this is a Okay, let me here we go. We do some AI development while we do this. It's super laggy. Background. Okay, there we go. Oh, objective ethics. Nice to see you, man. Doing evolution discussion tomorrow afternoon if you want to drop by. Okay, yeah, I'll try to. Yeah. 1 second. I am. Yeah. So basically, here, guys. We will. There. We're back. Bum 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 ba. Okay. Bum bum bum. All right. Well. Okay. Well, I figured it out. But it's you're not gonna have this snazzy TV. Yeah. So what's happened is like basically I had to put my old TV as my my old gaming PC is just basically my streaming PC now. And but now I need to basically create a I'm creating my show, streaming it, but I'm doing a lot of like development work on my Mac, but my Mac used to handle the screen entirely. The screen was like it created with a through like the AI and the screen and all that kind of stuff was all through another computer. But now it's not. So yeah, so that's it. No, Deanne, not any luck, unfortunately. Still trying, man. Still trying. Yeah. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. It sucks. Okay. Okay. Exciting. How exciting. Thank you, Deanne. Thank you. I appreciate you. It's tough, man. I mean, real talk, it creates a lot of fear in my life, and it's awful. So it is definitely one of those things where I am like depressed about it, you know, to be honest with you. And it's hard to not get like down on yourself personally, you know, like not feel like worthy of, you know. So but I think, I don't know, I just keep fighting and keep going forward and keep trying. There's one thing, I don't think I have really that many good qualities about myself other than I am a super stubborn. I'm very stubborn. The good words are like resilient, grit, stuck-to-itiveness. You know what I mean? But in reality, I'm just like really stubborn, and I refuse to give up on things. I refuse to kind of like back down. And I mean, you definitely see that with like the debates and stuff, right? So it's, yeah, that's very true to who I am as a person. And I love the fight though. Yeah. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Yeah. So that's what I'm still pushing for. And it's also one of the reasons why I don't think that we're going to lose against this science stuff, guys. I really don't. I know it might be naive, sound naive. It might seem like super impossible. The odds like be like super impossible, especially right now in the United States with how we are politically. But I just don't think that we're going to lose. I really don't. So, and I refuse to live in a world where we do lose. So I don't think that we are going to lose. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that it's going to happen. So it's not going to. Yeah. Oh, okay, Deanne. Well, thank you. Okay, let's see. Let's see how this looks. Oh, okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Dang, it doesn't have the same like ring to it. Oh well. Oh well. It is what it is. They relaunched the dashboard. What changed? All the 16 backgrounds are now CSS only. Okay. That sucks. Same rotation, 30 seconds, halo. Oh, it should be 5 minutes. All right. Don't be afraid to ask anytime. Oh, okay, cool. I love it. Thanks, Robin. Thank you for being here, and thank you, Objective Ethics. I'll try to come by if I can, but tomorrow I gotta like do a lot of work. So, yeah. Okay, that's cool. I'm looking through these for the first time. What? That was one of the failed. That's funny. All right. Oh, the cards. Okay. Oh, thank you, Objective Ethics. You have respect for the planet, respect for others, and self-respect. That's all you need to live a good life, brother. Thank you, Objective Ethics. That's really nice of you. Thank you, man. Yeah, I think so too. I think like it's just a phase, it's just a weird time in my life that I'm going through. It's so weird, it's so odd as a parent. You think about you have your own stuff that you're going through, and you never like unloading adult drama onto kids, but it's crazy as a kid how much you can have an impact on your parents, and talk to them. And like there'll be times where I feel down or sad or depressed, and then my one of my kids will just come up and give me a big hug and say, "I love you, Daddy. You're the best." And I'm like, oh man, that just made my whole week. That was so amazing. And it'll just bring me out of it. So yeah, it's just been really cool. It's been really cool to have those moments. Science will win when we can get robotic chips installed in everyone. Hollywood, I do think that as people trust more AI into their life, I think that AI will help solve a lot of these anti-vax problems. I really do, because like AI loves data, and there's more data, there's more to chew on, there's more to understand through science and those mechanisms than conspiracy. Like AI doesn't love conspiracies. Conspiracies are weak. They don't have a bunch of links linking them together. It's just a saying, in an AI's mind. The fact that you say something that is baseless 1,000 times doesn't mean anything. But if you're AI, you love studies that are linked to one another, that have that network of ideas created within them. So I think that it's going to be something that actually helps us. What is a safe carbon footprint? That's a really interesting question, 51. I think that the best thing that we can do going forward is trying to improve people's quality of life by lessening the impact humans are having on the environment. And one of the biggest ways that we can do that is by not changing everyday life for people, but just making some changes that they don't even know about, but it just improves their life. So like, for example, this is a great example, is like electric vehicles. Electric vehicles, you didn't have to learn how to drive them any different, right? You didn't have to change any aspect of your life. If anything, now that you can plug your car in at home, now you don't have to go to the gas station. Now it's kind of like an improvement of your quality of life. You know what I mean? And now electric vehicles, they, per mile, they're easier to maintain. They're less costly to maintain. So in the same way, I think that we could make changes upstream of the consumer that have huge impacts on the environment. And that's how you really make a lot of changes. So for example, as the consumer, you buy a bunch of things, but in reality, like corporations are linked to a lot of the CO2 carbon footprint stuff. So creating some competition inside of a carbon tax or cap and trade system would create that competition for the corporations to basically try to create a better product from that. So I think that's where we should go. I think that people that talk about like degrowth, the idea that like we should kind of unwrap or start kind of bringing back and receding society into kind of like a more isolated and less connected mold. I don't agree with that. I do think that AI centers are taking a disproportionate impact on energy, but you got to also remember that we had $400 billion for infrastructure and energy development, but Trump took that money and gave it to tax cuts for billionaires instead. So like we had that money, and these people that are complaining about AI centers nearby raising their rates of energy, it's like, well, that's the truth. That is the case, but we also didn't invest into our infrastructure in order to help that be the case. So, we need these corporations and these data centers to really be that shepherd to bring in those solar, those wind arrays, those, that way of actually generating this stuff renewably. And if they want to, bring in their data center, they should be investing billions of dollars into the local infrastructure to improve the grid in order to renew renewable and energy infrastructure nearby as well. So I think that all kind of like comes together for sure. If he could do that, camp, the next Democratic president take the money from the big, beautiful bill. Yeah, Michelle, I think that, through the budget reconciliation process, we basically figured out that the president with a national security threat has that capability of saying anything's a national security threat, and we're just going to throw billions of dollars a day at it. So instead of the real black pill, this is, people aren't going to like this. You might hate me about this, but it's okay. The ballooning defense budget. Okay, the number one thing that people on the left want to say is defund the military, defund the DOD. Okay, my thing is that DOD money, that billion, now it's going to be $1.5 billion. Sorry, 1.5. It's going to be trillion, right? Yeah, because it is 700 billion right now, or 800 billion, and then they want to increase it by 400 billion, so it's like 1.2, 1.3 trillion. So that money is like the president's piggy bank. You could take that money and just throw it into anything that you deem as a national security threat as president. So the move that I think that the Democrats should make, people aren't going to like this, is not defunding the military and the DOD, put more money into it so that we could then create a presidential national security threat for climate change, for renewable and sustainable energy product that I was talking about, healthcare. Like, why, guys? Like, why can't obesity and the rates of diabetes and obesity in this country also be a national security threat? It is. You can't have a volunteer military that has this much obesity and sickness inside of it. So therefore, the obesity epidemic is a national security threat. How do you solve obesity? You solve healthcare. You solve healthcare by single payer private provider systems. That's it. You start wrapping everything up into a national security idea, and now all these things, you can just get it done, within one presidency. It's not hard. It's shown that you can actually do this. You can do this with the OMB, and you can do the Supreme Court literally says that this is completely legal, and this is how the Constitution works. So use that as the way things go forward. Like these are the out of the box ideas that I think that we as the Democratic Party should be talking about and pushing. And like, how are we actually going to move the needle on this stuff? How can we actually push this stuff forward? Yeah, Michelle, the expansion of single payer private provider is not even less than a year. It is a weekend. You just say everyone can sign up for Medicare. It's now USA Care, or whatever. Trump would call it Trump Care, right? He literally put his name on Trump RX. So maybe we call it Kamala Care, Gavin Care, the Democrats Care. And now all your healthcare is all through that, and you just sign up with it. Done. I think like, and I think that what we could do is ban the movement there. I think like the pragmatic solution is ban private prisons, right? And then ban incarceration in terms of rehabilitation. So the goal of these prisons isn't to incarcerate someone, it's to rehabilitate them into society. That should be the goal of a prison, or a jail. And instead, right now, you have a weird system with private prisons and the local cities and the jobs and that whole problem. Just by banning private prisons and focusing them on a goal rather than profit, have their goal being rehabilitating these people in society. And that's how they can get funded. That's how they the public prison system could be graded based off of how well these people matriculate back into society. So how well they do, how quickly they make another crime and get back into the system, for example. That's a downside that we don't want in society. So we don't fund the public systems that do that, and we reform those and make them better. You know what I mean? Starlinka, how's it going? Oh my gosh, how are you? Hey, what's up? How are you doing? Whoa, hey, hi. Let's see. Yeah, I think. Oh, thank you. Oh, you just giggled. Nice. That's a nice idea. Those who go to prison, when they come out, they have fewer chances of finding a job. Yeah, Odysseus. Yeah. I mean, I think, well, finding a job, I personally, I think that we should have a federal jobs guarantee. Like everyone that should work should have a job. I mean, that can work, that wants to work, should be working. So I think that's totally okay. It should be up to the company, it should be the government that has a federal jobs guarantee. And if you have a company like Meta that just fired 8,000 people, you should find those people. That should not be okay. You know what I mean? That means like a layoff of 8,000 people means that this company was egregious in their hiring practices and is actually actively doing harm to those 8,000 people that they laid off. So they should be fined in order to do that. So like if you want to lay off someone, okay, we're going to fine you a certain amount of money, your profit every year, we're going to fine you a percentage of that. And then you use those fines and you use that money that you're collecting. You use that for, funding the federal jobs guarantee. You know what I mean? That's what I think. Wow. Put the police slowly out of job. I think I do think that there has to be like some way to, especially in the United States, which has a huge firearm problem. I do think that there has to be someone to call in order, when people are going off. You know what I mean? It's not going to be me, and it shouldn't be the people that have those firearms. You know what I mean? And I think that's dangerous, because you just have more people going to those measures, and I don't think that's sustainable. So I do think that they should have I think that you have like some community policing. Absolutely. The big problem with policing, at least in San Diego, it is wild. The amount of the budget that the police take, from the city budget is inordinate. It's wildly large. And then on top of that, it is all overtime. It is crazy that these police officers are taking, they have like a $100,000 a year salary, but they're taking home $400,000 a year because they're just habitually taking overtime, constantly just taking overtime. You should not be able to do that. Isn't that, you shouldn't, you've done enough, go home. Give me a break. Yeah. What cops, it's known. They actually did like an expose because it's publicly funded. People know the names and stuff of those cops that are doing it. It's crazy. It is out of control. These cops are making insane amounts of money. So, how do you have got to regulate that? It's insane that it's not. You could have social workers and self-policing. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. Like social workers, lifting up social workers and lifting up healthcare. Oh my gosh, Ness is here too. Oh my gosh. Sarlinka and Ness are both in the chat at the same time. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Wow. Ness. Let's see. Whoa, hey, what's up? You're down here. Weird. How does that, hey, this is the appropriate green. Down up here. My eyes. Oh my gosh, none of my cameras are working, guys. This is so embarrassing right now. My automations are all off. My eyes are up here. Okay, stop. No, my point was, overtime, 2 times the pay, 3 times the pay. Oh, it's you? Oh man, no, that's funny. It's being adventure. Why not both at the same time? You know what I mean? My point though is like lifting up social workers and lifting up mental health care. And so that like we shouldn't have police. We're kind of like asking police to do too much, right? Like genuinely, I think like we ask the police to do mental health checkups. We ask them to do these other things in our society, you know, where we have a mental health problem, and we haven't actually put any money or resources towards it. And they are, people who cut hair that are licensed in order to cut hair have more time training than California police officers in like firearms, like Tracy, and de-escalation training. like let me say that again. In California, people who are licensed to cut hair spend more time learning how to cut hair than police learn on de-escalation training. Huge problem. Huge problem, guys. You know what I mean? Huge problem. Like we have got to like our budget is a moral document, you know, and we have done an awful job of even talking about mental health care, providing any mental health care services. And I think that it's that we are seeing that, you know, we're seeing that with the homeless population. We're seeing that with these, with the amount of, people taking their own life every year. I think it's disgusting how people take the firearm aspect of it and the amount of people that lose their lives to firearms, and then they hand wave it off and they're like, oh, we lose 50,000 a year, but it's mostly people taking their own life. It's not that big of a deal. And you're like, no, that's actually a big problem, actually, that it's not okay. Yeah, maybe look into mental health, not sponsored. Yeah, exactly. Mental health is such a big thing for me. I talk about mental health a lot because like I've had a therapist like help me through big parts of my life, with my dad, with my family, with my and going through mental health therapy before it's bad. Helping you find the way to have the tools that you need when before it gets bad. I think that's a big thing. But you have to seek it out. You have to like seek out that problems. And yeah, it's that's the problem. You can't believe police have a gun, then ask them to be social workers or relationship counseling. Yes, Hazel, exactly. Yeah. I mean, just the idea that you have them, I do think that they should have access in some capacity. Again, you can't have the firearm country not have police with firearms, but it shouldn't be on their body. It shouldn't be on their person, and it shouldn't be the first line of how they deal with problems that they see. That's the biggest problem, is that police officers aren't given hand-to-hand combat training. They don't, and it's sad. And it's actually kind of cool through Jiu-Jitsu. Like we actually have some of the SWAT officers from San Diego police, and they come and train Jiu-Jitsu with us. So it's actually kind of cool. It's pretty awesome that they can, be on the up and up on how to be in that combat scenario and not feeling like they need to resort to firearms if someone pushes them down, or if someone gets the best of them in some scenarios, or grabs one of their arms, or grabs their leg, or pushes them down. You should be able to, in a grappling and a jiu-jitsu context, like take advantage of that and return the tides. So I think that's such a big thing for me, is learning like people in these positions and these monopolies of violence that they are allowed to instill on us, say, and this is going to make you mad. This is going to make some people mad. Like, we should actually be funding police training more so that they have the capabilities, or maybe it's a voucher program so that they can go on their own time to train jiu-jitsu or something. You know what I mean? We should be giving police departments more money for training so that they can do grappling, that they can do combat training outside of just a week that they have going through like grappling class or whatever they go through. Because like I've been doing jiu-jitsu now for 3 years, and I can tell you that it is not something that you learn in a weekend. It's not something that you learn in a week. You know, it is like a feeling that you get in a combat scenario. Like there's a like a friendliness with the violence that you get that you don't get when you're doing it for the first time or in the first week. You're going to be in that heightened fight or flight scenario, and your adrenaline's going to be pumping. You're going to be not thinking clearly. But once you've kind of been in that state and you habitually go there and you take yourself to that, you know, push yourself. Yeah, absolutely. You definitely get better over time. So I guess what I'm saying is that like the officers, if we're going to retrain police officers on how they should treat people, we need them to, this is going to be a multi-year process. Maybe they never are out of jiu-jitsu training. You know, maybe they're never out of it. Maybe that's something that we require of police officers to be like, hey, in addition, instead of spending $300 to $1,000 on overtime, maybe you take an hour out of your day to go to the jiu-jitsu gym and you try to do that instead. You know? Yeah, I agree, MB. I think that it's way too crass and way too quick to give someone that much power. They'll never stop training at the gun range. Yeah, Michelle, that's a great point. They never stop training firearms, so why would they stop training hand-to-hand combat on how to subdue someone without lethal means? I totally agree with that. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, Ness, I think it's crazy. I've firearms are one of those things where I've been doing it since I was like 10 years old. I've been going to the range with my dad. We had like long rifles, and, bolt action, like old school stuff, so even like a pistol and stuff to me is a little cringe. Why would you need to have a pistol? It's like, doesn't make any sense to me. Rifles are definitely more fun, and we would go like long range shooting, and it was fun. Like I really did enjoy it. I think that we are in a space that, like, I don't know if I think that there should be a massive firearm buyback. I think that's the biggest thing that we could do. Basically offer like $1,000, $2,000 per firearm and allow these people to actually make money by like funding them back. That's how like Australia got rid of a lot of their firearms. I think that's a really good idea. But at the same time, I think 3D printing has gotten to the point that if you actually really push this as like a political move, you're actually in a bad spot, because 3D printers make it so easy now in order to print this stuff that it's not really worth the political capital in order to really go after this stuff. That's the real problem. Oh, I'm sorry, Ness. I'm sorry that you have like anxiety about it. Well, in LA, you don't have to worry about it. LA is definitely safe. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that viewpoint too. A lot of people, like women and queer people, feel like that is like a way that they can defend themselves, and they feel like not only marginalized but systemically attacked. So I think that is definitely a way for people to figuratively and actually fight back. I can understand that point. So. Yeah, it's a cultural problem. I think, I think that we should normalize like really going after and kind of like making fun of the people that fetishize like firearms in general. There is like this whole subculture in the United States. Is it sub? I don't know. It sounds pretty beta to me, but it is very sub beta. The point is that like the idea of someone needing a weapon in order to solve a problem is weak in and of itself. Like in my mind, it isn't masculine to be like, I'm going to solve a problem by needing something else in order to do this. Like in my mind, like being able to use my own hands is way more masculine. You know what I mean? I can solve this problem with my own skills and my own hands, and I don't need help from anything or anybody in order to do this. So that's kind of like how I view it. So I also feel like people got really mad at me the last time I said this, but it's true. I do think that we have to like help normalize again, like dueling, kind of like bringing that back where, you know, you basically, if you want to scrap with someone, like let them scrap, you know, like let them go at it. Let them relieve that stress and that problem that they see with their hands, as opposed to having to let that steam off with like a car or a firearm or another way that could cause harm to other people. Like very rarely is like someone going with fists going to actually, cause someone to lose their life. It does happen, but it's exceedingly rare. Yeah, exactly. MB. Yeah. It's consent, right? It'd have to be consent based. But absolutely, yeah. As long as both teams consent, then that's what about. Michelle, I would probably say it'd have to be 18. I would have to be 18 in order to do it. You know. Honestly, I feel like it's a problem being out for number one. It's such a reflection of ego. Yeah, I think so, Ness. I think like. I think that there definitely is a failure of the United States that people see patriotism with individualism, and in actuality, patriotism by definition is a pluralism. Like you are looking out for your countrymen and you're trying to make things better by improving problems that other people are having. And what happens is like we have a culture that incentivizes selfishness and then says my selfishness is actually for the benefit of the entire country. And it's actually the opposite. It's the opposite where you're just being selfish and you're by definition looking out only for yourself. You know, like patriotism is getting vaccinated. Patriotism is making the environment more clean so other people can enjoy it. Patriotism is, you know, when you're on a walk, picking up that piece of trash and throwing it away as opposed to walking by it. Patriotism is making new knowledge and synthesizing new knowledge and sharing that with other people. Patriotism is selflessly showing up to the hospital in a pandemic when you know that you're going to not see your family for weeks or a month, and knowing that you're giving back to your community. You know, that is what patriotism like is to me. And that's what, in my mind, that's what me being an American is all about. That's what I see. Democracy and patriotism and freedom and liberty, those values, that's why I do call myself a patriot. I do call myself a patriot in the United States, and I do think that our Constitution is like, you know, that's why I see it as an idealist form of those ideals. but we've let this narcissistic, selfish, toxic brand of individuality crowd that space and take up oxygen within our communities. And that's what I try to fight back against, right? That's what I try to talk about. And that's one of the reasons why. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. That's why I talk about patriotism all the time. That's why I talk about patriotism all the time. That's why I don't run away from the flag. That's why I talk about masculinity so much. That's why I call, especially guys, I talk about masculinity and like you're being soft and all that kind of stuff, because I'm trying to elude and trying to stir those emotions of themselves and being like, bro, you are not a man if you're going around and harming people. That's not what a man does. Masculinity is going around and using your strength to protect people. Now, that's the whole idea with masculinity. Masculinity is using strength and knowledge and tools in order to help shield people from harm or trying to stop something from hurting others. So that's why my mom was one of the greatest. My mom was so masculine in that idea. She selflessly threw herself in danger in order to try to help people and improve their lives, and like did that as a nurse her entire life and pushed herself into areas where she didn't know what was going on, but that she thought that she could help. And that was enough to her to go into those areas and to push and try to help, so like that's how I see masculinity. So, and what I'm trying to say is that like women can be masculine as well. Like erroneously, again, men try to claim masculinity, but some of the most masculine people that I know are women, especially right now, when you have men retreating from the public square and retreating from our communities into this selfishness, toxicity ridden egoism. Men aren't being masculine right now in our culture, which is why I think that you see so many women not buy it. That's why you see all these guys online and these incels rising up, because like some person that's just looking out after themselves, like, who are you trying to help? Who are you trying to improve your life for? Just yourself? Okay, well, if you're just trying to improve yourself and in just your life, then see ya, bud. that's what's happening. Violence is the least masculine thing ever. It should be a last resort, not first. Yeah, exactly, Ness. Yeah, I totally agree. Thank you guys for the messages about my mom. I love you guys. Dr. Greg, you're such a great role model for the both masculine and feminine. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Bill. That's nice of you to say. My wee mom served the community by being a nurse. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you, Hazel. Thank you, Hazel's mom. They think that hate and violence is masculine. Exactly, Deanne. Yeah, exactly. So many people now are thinking like, I can choose for other people and force my opinion onto them and spread disease and spread harm, and that is somehow masculine? Like, no, dude, it's the opposite. They're being soft and they're being fragile. Yeah, exactly. And like imagine guys, imagine being so insecure with yourself that you would rather spread disease than just get a shot. Like a seriously a second of pain. Like nobody enjoys getting a shot. Nobody enjoys seeing, that happen. But what I do think about are the people that I'm protecting. What I do talk about with my kids is like, we are stronger now. And that's what it is. Exactly, Ness. They're scaredy cats. That's what they are. They're so scared and they're so fearful that they create scenarios that are unsafe for other people from their own how scared they are. Many of my elderly friends no longer want to get vaccinations because they get so sick from them. Interesting, Michelle. I think it's like, I mean, that's a good point. It makes sense though, right? Because people's immune systems are going to be worse as they get older. So that means that they are going to be, when they're exposed to a little bit of the virus, they're going to feel sicker because of that. So that actually tracks. The problem with that thinking is that, like, if you're older, you really need to get your immune system as robust as it can be, because that's the best chance that you have. You might not be able to survive a full dose of the antigen, which is from the virus. So like, if your body is negatively impacted by a small amount, a large amount might actually take your life. So that's why it's crucial to be vaccinated. Like 5 million people are saved every year through vaccines. 4 million of those are children. 1 million are from elderly people. So it absolutely helps. Objective ethics. If we stop the hatred and misinformation, then the violence will disappear. Yeah, I think so. I mean, Michelle, that's like one of those things where it's frustrating because, like, if you're elderly, like, how many of all the medical procedures do you really know what's going on? You know, I don't know how else to say this, but like, do you really understand what's going on as an elderly person? You're kind of like giving up a ton of, you know, your trust to the medical profession. So the idea that they are somehow that like wary of vaccines is sad. That sucks. Hey, iPhone, how's it going? Yes, but the U.S. needs heavy doses of sense of community. Yes, Ness. I think that really is the thing. And I don't know what to do. I don't know how we get back from that. I think the weird points in my life where the United States was really all together were like after 9/11. Which was odd because like I literally was bullied and chastised in high school because I didn't agree with the war in Afghanistan or Iraq. So, you know, that was the time where like 80% of the country was all in alignment for these wars. And I was like, this doesn't feel good. So, you know, like, so even the times that we did feel kind of like entwined, I felt so othered and segregated. But yeah, it is weird. I guess what I'm curious about would be what would cause that to be 80-90%. You know, what would that be? Like what I can't understand, genuinely, guys, what I don't understand is how that moment wasn't Russia attacking our elections in 2016. In 2020, like the idea of another country trying to impede our ability to have free and open elections by masquerading as fake Americans and like actually using bots in order to sway public opinion, like that blows my mind. Like, hey, like MAGA are, you know, bad for the world and for our for our country. But you know what? Russia, I'm talking to you, Putin. That's my MAGA. Dude, you don't get to exploit them. Those are my MAGA. You know what I mean? Those are my countrymen, and you don't get to just manipulate them, and you don't get to take advantage of them just because humans are easily manipulated through marketing and mass misinformation. So you don't get to do that to them. You know, like how is that not something that we can all agree on? But instead, it's like finally we got our guy in. Well, any means necessary. And it's like, what? How can someone cheer that that your rights as an American was taken by a foreign country, and that wasn't something that we could all agree was a bad thing. That's what I don't get. Oh, thank you for the crown. I forget who saw that. I don't understand. I missed that. Thank you. I appreciate you. Let's see this. Let's see if I can find it. That's my MAGA. Those are my MAGA. Okay. Which is another reflection of the same problem. How dare you attack us instead of you did? Why did this happen? Well, I think like Ness, I think that you're always going to have people that are like trying to manipulate governments. You know, that look at Brexit. Brexit was manipulated by Russia. Russia did the same thing in the French elections as well. You know, and yeah, the Macron, what was her name? The populist that was tried to be voted in. So it's like that all throughout the Europe elections, there was, you know, they tried to have manipulation, but you know, I think Euros are. I mean, I think it's tied with the rise in authoritarianism, you know. So. Those are our conservatives. Exactly, MB. Like, how can we not like if they were inside the country and they were like, you know, a place in like Indiana and they set up a camp, and then from that camp they attacked the United States from that camp, like we would be like, well, we're going to shut this camp down. Like, that's not okay. But because they're in the internet, and it's because they're, you know, all throughout the internet, it's somehow okay. I don't think so. Yes, but then MAGA would have to admit they were misled. Again, ego. Agreed. Yeah, I agree, Ines. Yeah, it's very. I think that's why. You know, they would rather have won the election with ill-gotten gains than admit that there was a problem there. You know, I think it's a weird thing. Yeah, exactly, Deanne. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the ego took over and sent us to war instead of to how to find out how what happened and how to fix it. No, I 100% agree. Yeah, I mean, you see that the same thing with like guys right now with the rise of women in graduate school rate graduations and undergrad. Basically, in the face of more women being educated, young men have abandoned school altogether, as opposed to rising up to the challenge and actually being as educated as women. So it's like, it's actually wild to me how like they were like, oh, academia is patriarchal, but as soon as academia no longer, you know, some of the veneer of patriarchal, you know, the structures of misogyny, some of that veneer starts slipping away, men just abandon academia entirely and say, we don't need school. Oh yeah. More than 50% of women are bio PhDs now, or more than 50% of bio PhDs are women. Well, guess what? I don't need a PhD anymore. I can just grift on the internet, and I can just lie to people in social media, and I can just sell them vitamin packs. Duh, easy. It's like, that's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. As opposed to being like, man, that is awesome. I am so proud. I am so proud that my field is a majority women now. I think that it's so cool. I do think that it's awesome. Like I said many times, I think that a lot of my favorite scientists happen to be women. I think that there is something about women thinking differently about how to succeed in a male dominated space, and the other ways of thinking that they need to do, and the other ways of thinking that you need to do to think about a problem and to think about how to solve a problem. It's just you just get a different thinker, a different way of thinking, which is, it's really cool. It's really awesome. I just finished Giesel's book, Astonishing. Oh, I haven't heard about it, Ness. Is that why biologists get paid so little compared to other STEM degrees? Brittany, I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I mean, the computer science and engineering side of everything, like, I think it has more to do with how scalable like Silicon Valley is. The problem with bio is that biology and biotechs, a product exists in the world, basically. Like, the problem with biotechs is that there's a protein, there's a plant, there is a host that exists in the world, and it's a real thing that's tangible, that exists. Computer science and engineering, these type of like software developments and those type of fields, you can infinitely scale that to, billions of people, but scaling that to billions of people of like my protein, it's harder, Oh, okay. Sorry, Brittany. Yeah, gotcha. I gotcha. But I think that it is an interesting problem, legitimately, that bio has, compared to every other, that it is. It's harder to automate. It's harder to be, yeah, it's harder. It's just harder. Oh, cool. Interestingness. Cool. Oh, you cried. Wow. Very cool. Well, nice to see you guys. I love it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for checking out. I put out a new video. I'm trying new videos on YT. So thank you, Deanne. So if you guys are interested in that, check it out. I've been like trying to workshop some new shorts, some new video ideas. So let me know how you like it. I appreciate you checking it out. Yeah, seeing what you think about it. Let's see. I was thinking about doing Twitter Spaces. People recommended Twitter Spaces. We were on like Umingle before, which was trying to like find debate opponents and stuff, which is it gave very weird vibes last time. I'll be honest, it felt a little weird. But so I think like I'm actually curious about wading into Twitter Spaces and hosting basically a debate so that people could come in and like ask me questions. So I think I'm gonna just start doing that. Like, one, it actually helped me grow my X account, I think, a little bit, and then two, it'll get me some interesting, opponents or something. Whatever you want to say, whatever it is, whatever this is, because it's just like sitting on TT, like waiting for people to join is just very. I hate it, and I feel like the co-host stuff is really tough. Like, co-hosting is tough. I wish that would worked. Like, that's like probably one of my favorite ways to like talk to people. But it was so hard to find good people on TT. Okay, interesting. I am live there right now. Find good people on TT. Who's this guy? Okay. Wow. Oh, look at that. Yeah, so I'm actually live on X right now, so that's cool. Interesting, guys. Man, I have so much work to do tomorrow. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild, guys. Okay, close this. I wanna host. Let's host a space. How do I host a space? We did meet Sanish. No, yeah, that's the thing. I think that's it. Like, there is a lot of really cool things like for TikTok to meet new people, but I hate the passive, just kind of like waiting for things to happen. And the problem is that, guys, we run through people. Anyway, yeah, Ness, this isn't. You don't have to. No, this isn't. This is all good. Create your space. Ooh. Who can speak? Only people you invite to speak. Ooh, that'd be good. What do you want to talk about? Science. Let's just do this. Let's just do the prompts. Patriotism requires vaccines. GMOs feed the world. Trump is anti-science. Climate change is real. Evolution produced humans. Boom. Let's see. Let's start now. Let's see what's going on, guys. Let's see how this works. Whoa. Welcome to Spaces. All right. Whoa, can you guys hear that music? No, you cannot. Whoa, this is crazy. It has like this spaced out music. Okay, here we go. All right, we're trying new things, guys. We're all constantly trying to evolve the stream, making it better. What the? Boom. There. You have like a waiting music. Wow. What is this, dude? Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm on mute and there's no one talking. That's why. Okay. Manage spaces. I had the living spaces thing just stuck in my head. Living space. Sorry. I'm gonna get like DMCA or something. This? No. All right. This. Okay. Show captions, microphone settings, space settings. Okay, yeah, let's just see. Let's see who comes in. Boom. Okay. Whoa. Oh, okay, that's cool. It created like a. Okay. All right. Let's just keep trying. Let's see if this is. Okay, we don't have the music anymore. That's great. I appreciate that. All right. I have a floor commercial song in your head. Yeah, we're fishing. We're fishing for debates, guys. Trying to see what's going on. You weren't aware. I went into another live today. This person wanted like a respectful, cordial conversation, talking about the facts and all that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden they invited this person that had a PhD in immunology, and yet she's pushing this nonsense about water memory and all this crap. And yeah, welcome to the peer review process. Welcome to talking about pseudoscience, and welcome to meeting a real scientist that's going to hold your feet to the fire. And sorry, not sorry. Yeah. So it's just what it is. It's just what it is. And the way that they just had a bunch of crying and on that live where it's like we just wanted to have a respectful conversation, and I'm like, bro, you're pushing things that are harming people, and it's not okay. It's not okay. So definitely a fun day. Isn't that water has a memory? Oh, Francis, that's an interesting question. They literally couldn't answer the most basic question about that I have for someone is, if water has a memory, what happens when you boil the water? Where does the memory go? I don't get it. Huh. I've never heard of this, Ness. I've never she literally could not answer my question. Like she ran the entire time, never answered any of the questions, never actually engaged with any of the questions that I asked, and had to be saved by the moderator the entire time. It was just absolutely hilarious watching this person squirm, and just complete yeah. Exactly, Helen. Does the memory disappear as well? Exactly. Everything is fake and no one cares. I'm gonna reach out to them and try to get on their podcast. Okay. I think. Hey, Ness. Hey, you fire all the shots. Shots. The shots they're fired, they're missed, and then sometimes they're not. But then you need to do them to make the shot sometimes, or whatever that is. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Whatever that. But that's that one. Were they conflating water tension with memory? No objective ethics. People literally think that water has like it stores knowledge somehow. So yeah, it's crazy. It's like literally it literally is insane. Oh, thanks, Michelle. Double digits, guys. Double digits followers. Smart water. Yes, exactly, Gia. No, not that smart water. Exactly. I love all these community notes that are happening because of the fake Trump math. So funny, man. So like, I can't imagine being. We talked about it yesterday on the panel, but I really do think that the fake Trump math is just another line in the sand of these things going like, are you guys for real, man? Like, you guys can't even do, like, you guys have Trump derangement syndrome so bad that you even math, you're going to be deranged on percentages. Like how can this be? How can it be? Okay, dude, I like this a lot actually, because I can actually make this kind of small, and I can just kind of see if anyone joins the space, and that's actually that's amazing. So yeah, exactly, Michelle. Like what a weird hill to die on. You know what I mean? Like, what in the world? Like, what a weird hill to die. Doesn't make any sense. Like, just say that he like messed up. Like, so the idea that RFK was like literally thinking about that all day and like for multiple days, and then he comes out and says it again. You're like, why? Why would you do that? Maybe we can go co-host, guys. Maybe go co-host. Let's see. Let's see, guys. Really, DN? Oh my gosh, how cringe. How cringe. Finger hearts. Finger hearts go. Oh, really? It's not supported on iPad? Weird. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna go try co-hosting and try to see what's up. I don't know. Let's see what's up. I always hate this stuff because I'm just like, it's not my fault that nobody wants to debate me. It's not my fault. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, DN. All right, guys, here we go. Same thing. We're gonna go for co-hosting. Let's try it. Let's see. I gotta set this thing up again. Okay, I need to set up. This. Okay. So the Discord, TikTok co-host, this. Sorry guys, I'm figuring this out as we go. We are live tweaking, live getting this stuff going. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you guys. That's so nice of you. Thank you. Co-host? No, it's not gonna work. Dude, it's like it looks so good when it's on though. I'll figure this out later. Figure this out. Oh, no. Thank you guys. Oh, dude, this one looks cool. I like this a lot. That looks cool. I like that. Let's see how that looks over here. Let's see. I've had to like change my monitors and my everything set up. Yeah, Hazel. I think like the people and the ways that more like older cultures and stuff revered and understood the world. Like I can understand that. I don't have any hate on like indigenous people kind of like understanding the world through stuff like that. What I do have a problem with is like people using that somehow in order to, harming people. It just doesn't make any sense. So now we spell pseudoscience water memory. Well, that's what the water says. That you ask the water to spell something out, and it does that. So that's just what it is. So weird, man. It's so weird. That's such a weird hill to die on. And it's so funny that because they know it sounds stupid, and I asked multiple times in the debate. I was like trying to ask like the most basic questions, and she just couldn't answer any of the questions. And she got so mad for bringing it up. And it's because, yeah. And it's like, she was so offended that I brought it up, and it's like, it's in your profile. You literally are selling your knowledge, that this is what they're buying from you. But she wanted just this really neutered conversation just within their little box. And I find this over and over again debating these people, especially disinformation agents themselves. Especially, we saw that with the Kent Hovind debate. I saw this in this debate with this other person. Like, they want to constrain the debate to a place where they can use their expertise or their knowledge or their credentials to make it seem like they have more credibility than they do. So therefore, calling it out and kind of like talking about how, no, you're just a conspiracy theorist and you believe all this crazy stuff too. They're like, no, don't bring that up though. Don't say that. I'm just trying to talk about this little thing. And you're like, no, I'm not going to allow you to dictate this conversation when these people are completely anti-science, attacking science entirely, the entire field, trying to hurt people, public health, trying to but these are the people that we're going to listen to and what we should be talking about, and we shouldn't. It's just nonsense. Indigenous peoples therefore respect nature. Yeah, I mean, Ness, I think it is. So it's true that like they did, indigenous populations did have like a different harmonious way of viewing nature. For sure, it's definitely different. They didn't see it as something that was like a resource that you exploited. And I think that's the key differentiation. But it's kind of like seen now, and we kind of understand through ecology and through historical lenses of like biology that like humans have kind of always had a impact in shaping the world around us. So for 10,000, 100,000 years, we have been shaping what animals and plants live around us, and that's just kind of innate to who we are. And so this is, if you wanted to look this up, this is not my terminology. This is the terminology of from 30, 40, 50 years ago, scientists kind of putting this, but the idea of like basically indigenous cultures living harmoniously with nature is kind of like, it's called the noble savage kind of thing. It's like a gross term. I feel like that's kind of, it's very, very weird. But my point is that it's, if you wanted to look it up, that's how you, that's the literature. And humans just impact the environment. That's my bigger point. I have an interesting topic. If you'd be interested in hearing about it. Okay. Yeah, sure, dude. Let's talk about it. Okay. Oh, I can't multi-guest you, bro. They don't have 100 followers. Totally. I just meant that the indigenous people belief in living water was different to grifters. Oh, 100%, Ness. 100%. Yeah. Yes, that's exactly who they were talking about. Yes, F1. So I was talking about it. I was like, what happens to the water memory when it's boiled? Like, what happens to it, and how is it different than a glass of water that hasn't been boiled? I asked her that. I was like, you take 2 glasses of water, you boil one, and then you distill it, and then you put that water back. So you've lost nothing. The water molecules go from water to gas to water again, and then you keep another glass and you just keep that water the entire time. How can you tell the difference? What memory has changed between those 2 glasses? Nothing. Like, no response. Her response was literally, I'm not going to answer questions because you don't want to learn. I'm like, what a response. I love that. It's so funny. it's just so funny, man. The idea that these people are, it's just being held accountable for the first time in their life online, and they react by just squirming and then running. She was looking to run within the first 30 minutes of the debate. It was pretty funny. It was funny. She was like, well, it's been getting like it's 30 minutes and we're really getting into it. And I'm just like, bro, you guys are so funny. Exactly, Helen. I'm like, what's the mechanism of water memory? Like, can you explain it to me? I'm not going to. Just like, oh my God, dude, you're so. And she kept saying that you have to read this book. You have to read this guy. I'm like, oh, okay. So I have to read and I have to buy the water memory pack, or the subscription model to this. They have no shame. These people. These anti-science people have just no shame. It really is wild to me how they just blatantly lie to people constantly. It's crazy. Anyway, so all right, guys, I'm a visual. Yeah, tell me tell me exactly where the memory is. Yeah, fun. So what they'll do is like they will put like they'll do demonstration. This is what they do. So they do demonstrations of like a glass of water, and then they'll put the glass of water over like your loved one's picture. And then you make it spread out or something, and you like put it somewhere, and then the water like will coalesce, and people will be like, oh my gosh, it formed like how it's spread out on the table. It actually took the shape of your mother's face or something like that. And you're like, what? Yeah, just check it out. It is wild, man. Water memory stuff is like the ultimate in just shameless grifting. And it's so funny, man. It is so funny. Oh yeah, they are totally nutballs, Michelle. It's like, it is the virus stuff. Like not only did she say, I don't believe in anything I don't see with my eyes. So I'm like, wait, you don't believe? She was literally like, I don't believe with anything that I can't see and demonstrate. And I'm like, so you don't believe in bacteria, yeast, or algae? Like, what are you talking about? You can't see the microbial world. So therefore you just don't believe in microbes? Like, what is this nonsense? Like, it's just it constant, like, it was embarrassing. I tried to stream it. And I need to get better at this. And I tried to stream it from my PC and to record it, but I didn't, and I couldn't do it. So I'm actually helping. I'm trying to ask the guy for the recording, but I don't know if he'll give it to me. So we'll see. He was so mad during the thing. He was like, how dare you? You're so mean. You're so rude. And then as soon as it was over, he DM'd me. He was like, wow, that was pretty crazy. Do you want to do it again next week? And I'm like, bro, like, what? I can't. No, like, I'm not going to like go again. I just did a 2-hour live with you on this Saturday. Like, I'm not going to every Saturday, bro. I'm not going to every Saturday do this nonsense with you. Like, what are you talking about? It's so frustrating. Hey, Heather. Like, I was like, bro, like once a month, maybe, every other month, like maybe, like, the idea, like, I have to like constantly be on this other person's stream trying to like make content for them. It's like, and like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like getting these people, trouncing them is very fun for me. I have a great time. Don't get me wrong. It was a great time. But just kind of exhausting to, I have no control of the scenario, and anyway, but dude, I got, guys, I know we laugh about the mom jokes. Okay. I know, like, look, okay, let's calm it down. All right. Let's calm it down. We've done a lot of mom jokes. All right. We love moms. We love dads here. We're big. on that, and there's been some good ones. But I think I'm gonna have to retire the mom jokes. I think I'm gonna have to retire it. I'm gonna have to retire the mom jokes. I'm sorry, and but it's because I landed the gnarliest mom joke ever. It was so good today. I can't even describe to you guys. It was so funny. I absolutely was dying. I loved it so much. It was by far the best mom joke. I don't think I'll ever just stop it, dude. I don't think I'll ever stop it. I want the clips just for this mom joke. It was so funny. So this guy, of course, like basically after it was clear this fake PhD was getting trounced, like just they not only did the host try to dogpile me, but then they literally like just invited everyone up. So it was like 4 or 5v1. NB was there. So NB and Helen was there too. And so don't get me wrong, guys, I love that. You know what I mean? Don't get me. I felt like the belle of the ball. You know what I mean? Everyone wanted to dance with me, so I just felt like very smitten. You know what I mean? I loved it. And so this one guy came up, and he was like obviously friends with the host, and he had like, you know, so he stayed around while all the other guys rotated and stuff. So he got so mad. He was trying to, you know, attack me. He got really mad and offended and personally, because like, guys, I attack these people. I attack not the person, I attack their beliefs. Okay. I make fun of anti-vaxxers and water memory people and like holistic medicine people, like for their beliefs. I don't attack them personally. Okay. The point is that these people make these conspiracies entirely who they are. They will be all consumed by the conspiracies. So that's why they feel that by making fun of, you know, people that think that, or by making fun of the belief that, you know, viruses aren't real, that's why they feel personally attacked, right? They feel personally attacked because they've made this whole mantra of being a conspiracy person their personality and who they are. So anyway, this guy just totally, like this was his chance. He was so, you know, talking about, hey Brendan, talking to me about how you know, how mean I was and all that kind of stuff. And he, you know, I was a narcissist, I was an egoist, I have such a big ego, yada yada yada. And he goes, every morning, do you just wake up and say, oh, I'm the best in the world. I'm the best that's ever been. And I go, no, I don't, but your mom does. It was so good. It was so good. I was laughing so hard. It was like there was like 120 people in there, and they were like all anti-vax, and they were like all crazy, and it was like spamming laughing emojis. Like they were just, he got absolutely roasted. Like it was so funny. So he got so mad. Dude. It was so funny. So it was I want the video just for that clip. I think it's they got so mad about the mom jokes. It's so good. Hey Renee, how are you? Yeah, it was my favorite one. In Discord, the screenshot of that, Dr. Greg, you are more on you posted. Let's see. I don't know. Oh, we were talking about it. Yeah. That live. Yeah. No, the live that was posted. Yeah. That's what we were talking about. Oh, you are a moron. Oh, dude. No, that was a Facebook comment. That was, hey, hi Renee. No, someone posted that on a Facebook thing. And it was like, someone said you're a moron, but said more, M-O-R-E, second word on. They called me a moron with, you are a moron. User, how's it going? Dude, it's so funny to me because it's like the comments, since I've been like absolutely like going at people on Facebook, it's so funny to me because people will like, they'll go from husband said you should say I've never been more on your mom than I was last night. Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. That's so funny. That is good. So like I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah. Okay. Bye. See ya. Dude, hopefully, we've been hitting it big at after midnight, so maybe the midnight to 2 will be good, and we'll still be here, Ness. We'll see. We've been getting like to like a bunch of people after midnight for whatever reason, so we'll keep it up, and we'll keep going and see what happens. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But yeah, guys. What a life. What a life. Dude, you guys got it sun. No, it's not sunny and warm and that fun. That's a lie. That's a complete lie. You guys are obviously not. It's another dreary, cloudy, gray day in London. There's no way. There's no way. It's impossible. Let's see. Oh, dude, I've been Facebook comments. Yeah, it's been funny because like obviously people think people can't like wrap their minds around like me actually just being a person that exists in the world. You know, they really think that I am a paid shill for these like corporations and stuff. And they really can't like fathom it. Even today, they thought that I was like literally shilling for the corporations when it's like, guys, I am not like an apologist for pharmaceutical companies. That's like not at all what I'm talking about, like what it is. Like, it's just that people conflate research science with pharmaceutical companies, and they think it's all the same thing. And they don't have the level of knowledge to actually think that they're two different entities. So like, I'm not shelling for any company or any PR firm or anything like that. So, and that just blows their mind. They literally cannot imagine that. They can't see that. And so when I come with the mom jokes, it breaks their brains, because it's like wait, this guy's being so unprofessional right now. How dare you? You can't. This isn't you're supposed to exist in this box, and it's not okay that you're outside this box. And I'm like, yeah, there is no box. I'm not getting paid for by anyone. So I'm just me. It's just so funny to see how they change from like, you're just a paid shill and you're only here because of that. And you know, that blah, 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 blah. And in reality, when they get the mom joke, it immediately switches to like wow, you're so immature, you're so unprofessional, all that kind of stuff. And it's so funny because it's like, well, which one is it? Like, am I immature and and an idiot that's so unprofessional, or did I get some media training in order to push their agenda? You know what I mean? Like which one is it? And it's just so boring to me. this mentality, this is why conspiracies are so dangerous, guys. This is why conspiracies like are so pernicious in your thought process, because it's just every dead end, every road leads to Rome kind of thing, where everything that you can do, you can link up. Like, why not just throw a conspiracy at it? Why not just add another layer of the conspiracy? Why not just like put it in there? And that's why I do so much like work internally, intellectually, to try to just remove that kind of conspiratorial thinking from my thought process. So, but there it is. Yeah, Hannah, exactly. Hannah, but let me know which one. The weak are scared of the intelligent. Yeah, I agree, Hannah. I think it's like it's a way to be unquestioning. You know, and conspiracies are it's an easy way to understand a complex problem, and that's why it's so pernicious with, especially with algorithms and social media right now, I think. So, Hannah Montana. Okay, Hannah, thank you. I appreciate that. So, yeah, man, it's so weird to me. It's so weird to me how conspiratorial the internet has gotten, and how it's so easy to push that. It, like, the person today had a PhD in immunology and even had done research. Apparently, she says that she'd done research in genetic vaccines. So I thought it was such a weird moment where this person, instead of like following the research, like, what a good thing to do your PhD on in the 90s. Like, what a huge leap and incredible thing to be a part of and see happen in your lifetime. Like, not only did your research go forward, but it went so much farther than everything that you could. And I think that's kind of the problem, is that it's a lot easier for someone like that, or a PhD in their research field. And you see it like a lot with Nobel laureates too. So like Nobel laureates, you know, in their later years, you know, they'll become really conspiratorial. They'll be really anti-science. They will dabble in, you know, racist ideologies and stuff like that. And it's such a weird thing, because it's like, why? Like, why does it happen so often? And I think it has to do with people falling back into these easy ways of thinking about things. And instead of like having that intellectual rigor and really maintaining that intellectual curiosity, it's like, it's a realization that they're never going to be able to be on that cutting edge again. They're never going to be on that ability to really understand things at that level that they once understood things like. And what happens is that people just say, well, you know what? It's a lot easier to explain things through conspiracy, like we're talking about. So maybe the conspiracy is right. Maybe I'm right. Maybe, you know what? Maybe, you know, like you have a bunch of was it Watson or Crick? I don't know which one, you know, talking about like grams of vitamin C a day, you know, weird things where you're like, why are they pushing this? Like, what do they have about vitamin C or whatever niche conspiracy that they have? And it's like a way that they can hone in and they can be smarter than everyone else again. They understand things that nobody else can understand. It's like, oh, we're so happy that you have brought us this amazing, breakthrough that nobody can substantiate, and there's no science behind it. And but it's just so boring, man. It's just so It's so boring. It's so boring. The scurvy lobby. Yes, exactly, Hollywood. Yeah. So, yeah. It is very weird. I really want you to have a second name, Dr. G. Claude. Okay. Efon, you can call me Claude. It's okay. Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird. It's so funny how people data, like cherry pick data, how they cherry pick quotes. But somehow, like, one of the people who invented like PCR had like this really weird quote, talking about medical diagnostics with PCR, saying that the PCR of their day could never be used for medical diagnostics because you can just amplify DNA with it. It's like, yeah, well, that's the point. The whole point is that you could amplify DNA with it, any DNA with it. You can just make it specific so it only amplifies the DNA that you want. Like, but instead of like people asking questions about that, you have people like data and quote mining. Some random guy from like 1989. It was like 1980s, 1990s. As if we're doing the same PCR reaction and nothing's changed since the 1990s on molecular biology, guys. Like, give me a break, dude. Like, it's so boring. Like, the conspiratorial world is a boring one. The conspiratorial world all boils down to a couple things. That's what I can't get my mind around, how boring of a world that they live in, where you just basically pick it, whatever you want your global cabal to be, right? Science, pharmaceutical companies, Jewish people, immigrants, the idea of like these global, hegemony, pushing like organizations just running everything. They pick whatever you want. And it's like, oh, everything is that. Oh, that's so, oh, geez. Oh my gosh. Of course. They do the weather too. Oh, of course. Oh, and they own all the universities. Oh, of course. And they own all the governments. Oh, of course. Oh, and all the media. They control all the media. Oh, of course. like every conspiracy hinges on this, whatever group it is, controlling the entire world, and everyone just being like, all right, we're just gonna let this happen. Yeah, there was a point where I had bad health anxiety and was very conspiratorial. I found my way out. Nice, Hannah. Yeah, it is. How fast. Yeah, Hannah. And it's like, and it's people believing in conspiracies, not because they just believe and they see one instance of it. I mean, you can see thousands of instances of conspiracies in a day by scrolling on social media. Like whatever your xenophobic group is that you want, whatever out group you want to target with your conspiracy, it's very easy to pin all these things on them when your social media feed just relays story after story after story after story about that. So every day you have 100 new data points in your mind to point and use as examples on why whatever xenophobic group you want in order to blame the entire world on. But yeah, it's just so easy. It's crazy. I do want to target the billionaires though. Yeah, Renee, I think that, yeah, me too. I think that is like it. The difference is that like there's tangible evidence and the power of money into actual political power creates a lot of different mechanisms for them to puppet master our lives, our social media feeds with X, our political system by buying access, by making new strings that they can puppet master our financial systems with by not paying taxes. There's lots of different ways that billionaires run, aspects of our world. So, and because of their power, it becomes a way that politicians want a piece of that power. So instead of regulating Elon Musk's power and taking some of that power away through regulating his power through taxing his wealth, you have the entire Republican Party fawning over him, can't wait to kneel to him at the altars of the billionaire class, and trying to give him as much money as possible, actually trying to give him more power so that Elon Musk could then give the Republican Party power through politics. So it's like, it's so incestuous. It's so incestuous in our lives how billionaires actually have tangibly and negatively impacted things. So it is like a conspiracy in that I feel like the billionaires are, as a class, solely purposed on one thing, which is acquiring more power and more money. But I don't think it's a conspiracy, and that I don't think all the billionaires are like getting in a room together and being like, okay, what are you going to do? Okay, what are you going to do? What's your tax here? What's this going to happen? And that is the kind of like orchestration in a conspiratorial aspect that you would need to have if like pharmaceutical companies ruled the world or scientists rule the world, right? Because like those groups don't have the power through money, so that they would have to have power through orchestration and through organization. And you don't see that. You don't see that level of coordination. And so scientists don't want to help each other. It's just not like that. But billionaires have a vested interest in helping one another, because they are billionaires too, and they know that the wealth tax is going to impact them as well. So one of the first things that you saw with Mark Cuban, for example, Mark Cuban is like campaigning for Kamala, right? Trying to like talk about the dangers of Trump, why Trump is so bad, and on these things. And as soon as it wasn't even recommended by Kamala, but as soon as she thought that there could be, Mark Cuban had heard about the possibility of a unrealized stock tax, so that you would actually be taxed on unrealized gains, so that you can't daisy chain loans one after another, and you would have to like actually sell your assets in order to actually be taxed. As soon as that was even possibly a remote possibility, he went everywhere and said, I heard that you guys were considering this, and if you consider this, or you actually try to implement this, I am so out, and I will go campaign for Trump. This guy, Mark Cuban, literally was on the campaign trail basically for the last 6 months, talking about the dangers of Trump and how he's a fascistic threat. He's a unique danger to our Constitution. But he was like, if you even think about taxing me at the normal rate that other people pay taxes at, I will campaign for this guy. like that is how strong the billionaire class is in bed with one another. But it's for a similar gluttonous fetishization of money and power. It's not like a orchestration. It is not an organization of, and again, people think erroneously like, oh man, this is what the World Economic Forum is. They're all coming together and they all collude together in order to do nefarious things. And that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think that that's the case. So yeah, exactly, Michelle. It is awful, Renee. I know, Hannah. Me too. I thought that Hannah, I thought that Mark Cuban actually had some like great points about Trump, and it was really interesting seeing how selfish he was. It's crazy. Yeah, Michelle, it's really the way that they don't pay taxes. They just don't pay income taxes at all. Like they just don't need to. Yeah, it's just another mechanism that they have financial tools available that you do not have. Not only will they be bailed out, not only will billionaires be bailed out and be rewarded for taking risks and losing money, but they have financial instruments so that they never have to pay any taxes. Oh yeah, so there was a tax me millionaires party in New York City. So basically they had a bunch of millionaires in New York City that were basically asking to be taxed more. And I thought that was like really important for sure. Yeah, the corporate tax rate was 55 to 60%, Hazel, and the top marginal rates was like 91% too during that time, Hazel. Yeah. Yeah, not all billionaires. Hashtag not all billionaires. Yeah, we're not all bad. Like, bro, you guys are so bad. God, it's so like it's so boring. I can't imagine being so I hate it. I hate it. It's a policy. If it's honestly like it's yeah. It's very frustrating. It's levels of bad. I agree. Yeah, Swampgoth. I think so. I think it is the fight of our lifetimes, and I think that like the ever encroaching push of fascism in the country is like its own problem. But man, like I think that it's tiring, but it's also the fact that you even understand that there is a fight to be had. The fact that you even understand that this is something worth fighting for, is a good sign. I think that the ability to recognize what's happening is kind of the first step, and people getting involved and actually trying to change things. Yeah, Renee, I think like it's genuinely unfathomable, like the level of wealth $1 billion is. Thank you, Hannah. Yeah, I think we'll win too, Swamp Goth. I think we'll win for sure. I think like good people. I think that there's going to be a massive snap back, and I think that we're going to see billionaires taxed like and regulated like in the United States. I think we're going to see these companies, like a lot of these tech companies, actually being regulated, and these tech companies actually being broken up. I think we're going to have basically kind of like a TR style moment where you basically trust bust these guys and really fight to actually put the power back into the people's hands as opposed to these billionaires. And it's something that you can see kind of percolating with Republicans right now. I think you can kind of see it where it's like, wow, this populist energy that we had, Trump basically squandered all of that. So I do think that there is a possibility of really engaging with those people. I think that's good, but I also don't think that it's what we need to do. What I don't think that is good for the Democrats in order to actually get those Republicans into our space and actually listen to us again. I don't think it's just caving on all our beliefs and not standing up for ourselves. Like in order to like win over Republicans, Democrats actually have to stand up for our beliefs and actually fight for what we believe in. They actually respect that more. The Republicans actually respect that way more. Will the DNC back Kamala? Yeah, I think so. I think the polls are too early. I think that, Kamala and Gavin Newsom are the biggest names. So that's also why they're being, pushed. But I think so. I think that this is actually an interesting thing. I'm curious what you guys think about this idea, and Prime really pushed back on me on this one. So I'm curious what you guys think. Like, do you think that the Democratic Party is more poised for radical political change now or in 2008 after the financial collapse and the recession? Do you think that, like, my animating idea is that the United States and Democrats feels more alive now politically to actually, do some real political revolutionary kind of moment than in 2008. So I feel like people are so sick of this political era that we've been in for the last 10 years, and I think that like Democrats are sick of getting like the short end of the stick for the last like 30 years politically. And people are like frustrated at the lack of progress during Obama, and I feel like there is like a lot of momentum towards like a more presidency that can actually solidify some of these changes. So I feel like there's more energy now for radical change than in 2008. I think that the 2008 financial collapse like was a huge event that did happen, and it shook the world economy, right? Definitely shook the world economy. And the fact that those bankers were never charged with fraud is a huge problem for Obama, and it was probably one of the biggest corrupting moments for his entire presidency. But I feel like the bankers weren't public like Trump is. Trump has really Obama has really Trump has really like put himself into every single facet of American life, and he's really politicized everything to the point where everything is like he's infected so many parts of our lives to the point where I think people are really sick of it. I think that people are just but this is also something where I'm like, is that just me? I'm like, is that just me projecting my feelings about Trump on other people? And the reality is, and what's kind of sad, the black pill is that I don't think that a lot of people actually think that Trump is that bad. And that's what's so frustrating, is that like there wasn't a huge amount of voter registration and voting in 2024. People didn't realize that it was that big of a deal in order to vote him in. That people really aren't like, we're not having like, it's his approval numbers are bad, but they're basically where a lot of presidents usually go, which is the low 30s, which is like where Biden was for a long time. So it's just like it really should like be like supporting Trump should really be a 90-10 issue, where it's like 90% of the country should be against him. It should be just overwhelming. And the fact that it's not, and people kind of write it off constantly, is so dangerous. That's what I really am scared about, where it's like, I don't know if we have the impetus and the temerity to kind of withstand the fire, because when like Republicans push back on the Democrats for actually prosecuting MAGA and removing the MAGA swamp from DC and firing these officials that are corrupted our institutions, like, it's going to take a Democratic Party to really stand up and say, hey, I don't care what you think. I don't care if you're saying that I'm, prosecuting political enemies. That's not what we're doing here. You know what I mean? It's going to take a Democratic Party to be steadfast and against those charges. And I hope that people can actually be that way. The majority of white women move for Trump. Yeah, Heather. I mean, that's the big thing, is like, white women specifically. It is pretty crazy. Yeah. The MAGA friend said today, MAGA is not far right enough. Yeah. I mean, Michelle, that's definitely because they don't see. I was in like a Republican live today, and they were talking about how basically that, like basically that Trump isn't a real Republican. He's a 90s style Republican. And I was like, what? Trump isn't a Republican? Are you serious? So it's like they think that they need to go like even harder, which is wild to me. The 2008 financial crash destroyed over 30 trillion of global wealth. Almost no high-level Wall Street or British banking executive faced criminal prosecution. Yeah, fun. No, none in the United States. Literally none. I didn't. Yeah, exactly, Michelle. They don't think they thought and they wanted basically ICE to deport like 30 million people. Like that's legitimately what they thought. And some of them still think that. So the fact that they're doing like barely above Obama numbers isn't good for them. They don't like that. So they think that they are like the real Republicans. Yeah. Renee, I think it was like 65% of white men and like 55% of white women that voted for Trump. The Department of Justice policy prohibits. Yeah, Efon, it's a memo. So that's the thing, is that like, Efon, it's a memo that the DOJ said to one another on whether or not you could prosecute a sitting president. So it's like, and the real kicker before that was, but that was before the Roberts decision. So the Roberts decision basically gave Trump and all presidents immunity from criminal action. So it's like, before it was just a memo. Right now it's like a Supreme Court decision. But I think honestly, I don't care about any of those. I want the Democratic nominee to go after Trump and arrest him and throw him in jail. And like, okay, like what is Chief Justice Roberts going to do? Like, what are you going to do? Are Chief Justice Roberts is he going to take him out? Is he going to take him out of jail? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to jailbreak this guy? Like, what are you going to do? So, yeah, I think I don't care. I don't want the Democrats to hold back in the fear that this might be legal or not. I want them to actually push it forward to actually have it done. I need to clarify, majority of white women that voted for Trump. Yeah, exactly, Heather. Yeah, exactly. Not as a total, because like 45% of Americans vote. So it's like a less than a majority of people even vote anyway. And about 20 some odd percent voted for Trump. So that, yeah. Which is, it's disheartening. It's actually disheartening how, at the beginning, it's kind of disheartening to see how much power, political power, MAGA has gotten because they are such a small percentage of the population. But then also, it's kind of like one of those things where, wow, like with a small percentage of the population, you can have a disordinate amount of impact on politics and the, political psyche of the United States. So it's like, why can't we do that? Why can't we do that? Why don't we mirror the political structure and the the ideation of where MAGA actually succeeded within our system and use that in order to push our agenda as well? I think that's a huge like we should mirror what the Republicans are doing successfully and use that. Right? We shouldn't like try to reinvent the wheel as Democrats. Like we should look at what's happening in MAGA, not as xenophobic, nationalistic ideologies, but in the orchestration, the structure, the how they're actually getting things done. And what they're doing is that they're going to the state level. They're having hundreds and hundreds of bills at the state level. We should do that as Democrats. We should be making organizations that mirror our ideology, that kind of thing. There's a lot of misconception about the voting demographics, and I think that was by design. Okay, interesting, Bear. Yeah. Yeah, it was like Latino men, right, Bear? It was, and it's not the majority. It was the greatest population percentage that a Republican has gotten, which is odd, but it still wasn't a majority of the Latino vote. So, but it was a sizable increase, which is wild to me. I don't understand that. But it's a lot of like fear mongering. So yeah, exactly, Bear. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that's how I understood it too. Yeah, he gained more votes in that block, but he didn't win. He didn't win the majority of it. Yeah, exactly. That's how I understood it too. It was like the great, like the second greatest one was like George W. Bush, 2004, something like that. It was I forget what the second largest percentage was compared to Trump. So yeah, I agree, Bear. Yeah, I think that's the correct way of putting it. It's not a majority win, but he did have a higher vote percentage than a lot of people expected. Yeah. Do white women make up the majority of women voters? I would think so, Heather. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. Oh, what's up? Mrs. Dr. G, hi. Bush was the last president to do higher gains in that category. Nice. Sweet, Bear. So we're aligned. Good. That's thank you for fact checking. Thank you for fact checking, Bear. I appreciate you. It's Mrs. Dr. G.
The world famous Dr. Greg Show.
Woo. How's it going? Hope your night's going well.
The world famous Dr. Greg Show.
It's true. It's true every time. It's true every time that she says it. It's so true. All right. It's amazing Nixon's support evaporated in the Watergate scandal. It is. That is her vote. Yeah. And this one too.
You got to give him more energy than that.
The new Fed chair nominee wouldn't answer to Donald Trump lose. Dude, Hazel, I love that these questions. It's so funny to me that they can't even answer the most basic questions. Like, how easy is that for that to answer? And the biggest thing that they always talk about is like, oh, well, this is so long ago. The 2020 election is so long ago. Why are you asking questions about that? Meanwhile, they're literally opening investigations into the election, the 2020 election. Like that's what Trump is doing right now. He's trying to hold people, he's trying to try to throw people in jail based off of like something around the election in 2020. It's crazy. It's wild, man. Yeah, I agree, Bear. Yeah, white women, yeah. Yeah, it's this whole idea of like people standing separately and voting differently than their husbands. I mean, that are voting at insane amounts. I mean, it's only like 30 to 35% of white men that don't vote for Republicans. It's actually wild to me. So like, you know, it basically a group of 10 white guys, only 3 are that don't vote Republican and that vote Democrat. It's like the numbers like are just unfathomable to me. They're very weird. Mrs. Dr. G, I did the emoji things. All the emojis are here because of you. They're back. I love it. I hope you're having a good shift. Boom. Look at those. I do like them. It requires me to have like a separate program running at the same time, which is kind of like why I stopped doing it. But I do like it, and I do think they look cool. So we'll just go with it. It's just something. It's another thing I have to do. It's okay. Oh, nice. The babies are behaving. No codes. Yeah. I used to do it at the beginning. The beginning of the show. I started doing it like the first like 3 or 4 months, and then I got rid of it. It's just like I was trying to do like more of a professional stream, but now because of like how the show's routed and everything, the YouTube stream is kind of completely separated, and the TikTok stream is completely its own thing. So I can kind of have YouTube as like a higher production value, just focusing in just on that landscape, like beautiful look, that beautiful shot. And then TikTok is kind of its own thing. So it's just kind of nice. I can kind of just play around here more, you know. It's now so unprofessional. Yeah. Yeah. I'm very peculiar. Very peculiar. Yeah, it's funny, like the production value and the everything of the stream. It's funny looking back at your actually Mrs. Dr. G, you aren't a profession. You're not a professional anymore. That was removed from you. You're not. You're not professional, technically. You're not a professional degree. So yeah, standard hobbyist. You're just a hobbyist nurse. Oh man. There you go. Yeah, I was professional. Exactly. That's right, Heather. That's right. So we're looking at, we're fishing for debates on X right now. and we are trying to find people to get in the box for a debate right now. So we're still waiting. It's been 3 hours. This is the problem with these type of these type of shows and stuff, where it takes forever sometimes, and it's so boring. But it's fun to talk to chat and talk to you guys, though. I appreciate you. That's the thing, Michelle. I need to pay for promotion or something. I don't know. No, I don't. Breaking news, Renee, I don't have anything to add, so it doesn't create a scenario where I am adding anything. So I don't feel like I should really be pushing it, it's go to CNN.com or NewYorkTimes.com, and you know what I mean? I can't really add anything. Is no one wrong in the internet today? Exactly. Oh my God. Dang. I don't know, dude. I'm not, you guys know how anti-conspiracy I am. It's very weird to me. It's very weird to me how I genuinely don't understand how he didn't investigate his own attempt the first time in Pennsylvania, how that wasn't investigated. How did that not, how was that not a thing that was investigated? Imagine why would you not investigate that and investigate the 2020 election instead? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me how exactly. Yeah, every time. It doesn't make any sense to me that he's just the one thing that was so close, that shook him so to his core. He doesn't have an open investigation into that. I don't get it. Talk about how GMOs feed the world. Basically, the amount of GMOs in the United States and how we use genetic modified organisms in order to increase plant productivity makes a way for us to feed more people than we could. And the genetic modifications in herbicide resistance and increased plant productivity and decreased food waste increases our efficiency in utilizing food, and also decreasing the amount of pesticides that are used while we're farming. So it's a good thing. Well, the total amount of plants planted in the world aren't a majority genetically modified organisms. Because of the United States and the amount of exports that we do, we basically feed the world on our genetically modified organisms. He always brags about his success. You'd think he'd talk about dodging an attempt all the time. Exactly, Bear. How does that not come up? I don't understand. How is he not investigating that? I don't get it. How does that not come up? He's never mentioned it again. So after the election, it doesn't make any sense. And and it's completely healed, and you can see his ear, and there was such a great comparison. It was basically Evander Holyfield and how his ear has healed over the 20 years since the bite against Mike Tyson against it, and yet Trump took a slug to it, and now he's somehow okay and healed miraculously. How is that not just missing? Well, his cartilage doesn't grow back, so he should have that missing. Patty, I'm a retired chef from Healthy to Gourmet, so I have an interest in food plant science. Oh, nice, Patty. Yeah, cool. Yeah, he's Jesus. He is Jesus. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point, Heather. Yeah, there's no scab. I don't know, guys. It's one of those things where I am like so. I just. It's so frustrating. How did it clip his cartilage and not scrape his head even a little? Exactly. Where did the blood come from? Where did it come from? The flag lowering. That dude, Renee, that was wild. Why did the flag like lower in perfect time? It's just crazy. Yeah, that's a good point, Bear. Yeah, he gets bruises from shaking hands that need makeup. Well, that's from his IVs that he's been getting. Yeah, F1. People talked about how it was like his days as a WWE, for the cutmen and stuff. They take just like a little razor blade and just like, just go and it's easy to bleed on those. Yeah, but again, guys, I don't like getting conspiratorial. It's not like the thing is that like, even if it's true, like what could we do to change it? So what's the point in even thinking about it or talking about it? Like that's the thing. I don't feel like it's like a productive way to think about, Yeah, he didn't flinch, nothing. How did he not even think about it? But I think that the shots were like pretty low, like in volume though. I don't know. That's it though. Anyway, well, guys, what's weird is that my son had something like he felt sick today, and my daughter felt a little sick today, and they were a little off, but it didn't feel like it. And now I feel like a little sick. So I think I'm going to take off early. I have like a little bubbling in my tummy. Don't feel that great right now. But he's such a baby about everything. He wouldn't shut up if it was real. Yeah, exactly, Mrs. Dr. G. Exactly. Like the idea that how is this not the thing that he is talking about? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out. I'm sorry. These ones are so frustrating. We'll have to see if we can get some shorts or something about it from it. It's boring to make highlight videos out of them because it's just me talking to chat. They don't really go well on YouTube, but like sometimes the explainers do well in shorts, and we can like use those as videos, So hopefully that works. Yeah, I'm gonna go down some like grams of vitamin C for sure. Yeah, Michelle, we're definitely having a home day tomorrow for sure. Home days feel so good. No baseball games, just hang out at home. I got a bunch of stuff I need to do. I got to work on SAFE. I got to work on some job stuff. I got to work on some studying. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff to do. So it's actually nice to be at home. So, all right, guys, I love you. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. Thank you for everything. And I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Yeah, F1, I did take a weirdly long nap tonight. I love you too. I took a weirdly long nap out of nowhere. I took a weirdly long nap out of nowhere, and now I'm wondering if my body was like, "Yo, we're shutting you down." And now I was like, coming at it. I'm like, I'm gonna ramp right back up, and my body right now is like, no, we're actually shutting down again. Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. And I'm like, oh, dang. But hey, guys, I'm gonna keep pushing the Twitter Spaces thing. I think that's gonna be cool. Yeah, we'll see if that works. See if we can bait some people in there, because we're definitely in the we are in the danger zone there. We are in lions. We are the lions, guys. We are the lions. We are the grizzly bears. And so I'm excited to be there. So I think it's a good idea. Yeah.
The world famous Dr. Greg Show. You got to give him more energy than that.
Nice. Thanks, Michelle. All right, guys. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Let's go. Like, exactly. All right. See you guys. Have a good night. Bye. All right. Sorry, YouTube.